Hello and welcome to the final episode of Future Balls for Season 1. I'm Tristan Grace.
Nathan Waters for Season 1.
For Season 1.
But we're going to do a Christmas special.
Oh, we should do a Christmas special. We say it's the end of Season 1 because it is. These are all the balls. We've gone through the entire bingo ball machine.
That was a lot of balls for two men to go through.
Yeah, crazy amount. Luckily, we never choked. Okay, so first up, shaking our super rinky-dink bingo ball machine here is political systems. Okay, cool. This is going to be a political episode. Combined with, childcare. Okay, I'm going to go for a third because we've got 4 balls here. So we're going to have 4. And the third
going to
one.
Use them all? Okay.
Well, no, I'll do 3 right now and then we can add the 4th in a bit later. So we've got political systems, childcare, and LIDAR. Holy, how do you combine LIDAR with fucking childcare? It's conspired.
You could use LIDAR to identify children in the area.
To make sure you drive away from the children. Let's get that mixed up.
Wait, what? No.
Oh, it is driving towards the children to pick them up for school.
It's LIDAR stands for Little Imbecile Detector. And radar.
I like that. Okay, so political systems, LIDAR. I don't know, political systems kind of want to take care of kids, I guess. It is interesting thinking about that the how a lot of the nations right now are kind of freaking the fuck out about the lack of kids coming into the world. I mean, China reversing its whole thing, the one-child policy, I think Russia is pushing a whole bunch on it. Apparently, I'd never heard it before, but the one of the big reasons for being against abortion and all of that is to keep the population up and stuff. Not sure if that's a conspiracy theory, but it's very interesting.
That would be fascinating then. Imagine if states start becoming much more like conservative religious groups.
Yeah. Get more
make sure
kids.
you have your 10 kids.
Wait, if you think about it, from a state's perspective, having more kids is just great. More population, at this point where you can handle them, it's fantastic. It has to grow. It just has to keep on growing. And if people don't want to do it because of the cost that it's put onto them, do you think the state, or will there be a political system that actually starts just making kids on their own volition? There's no necessary
kids.
Well, yeah, there's no real reason why you need to be a family and have 2 people looking after this one. You could have it all automated from birth.
Yeah. Well, I think quick little tangent. I think the reason people aren't having kids is because of the whole burdens of modern life. I think if we had more interesting lifestyles, living arrangements, I love this kind of utopian idea of having intergenerational families and communal communal villages type thing, where you have a whole bunch of people living in the same rural plot of land that's really nice, and then all their kids just go to the same little school, and they're all interconnected, and it's a bit like the tribal years where everyone's kids would just be running around, and the grandparents, the elders, would just look after them while everyone is going off and hunting and stuff like that. That's kind of what we do now, but it's very much a transactional thing where it's oh, okay, you've got to go to work for 9 to 5, and then you've got to pay an exorbitant amount of money to put your kids in childcare. You could just do that in a free model where people actually know their neighbors and trust their neighbors, and community housing developments, boxes on the hill aren't little boxes, they're actual communities where kids run around and everyone just looks after them. I don't know.
It would be good to actually focus on that, because the amount of cost and time and effort that's involved in raising a kid is intense. So being able to split that up would be really good. I mean, there's no reason why that must still happen around. I don't know, I've moved far away from grandparents, so we don't get too much grandparent help. But I know my sister's still very nearby, and so you get a lot of help that way from the grandparents. The whole community is kind of a bit there, and as you get to know people around, it's the whole thing about being close to your community, I guess.
Yeah.
So forming
also too, you think it's the idiocracy type thing where people who are just focused on their careers and a lot of stress to do work. You think at most they might have 2 kids, but really late, like late 30s type thing. Whereas maybe if you live in more rural areas, you're doing remote work, you've got a lot more free time, and you've got a lot of people able to help each other out with the childcare and child raising stuff. Then maybe you might be like, oh fuck it, like 2 is pretty easy. I'll just have 5. Like 5 I can handle in this environment, whereas 2 I can't handle. Taking them to a childcare center and raising them in a little box on the hill with the suburban hell.
The cost becomes with childcare that say after you have 2 kids or so, you're like, well, if I'm working and I'm actually making less than I would that I'm paying in Dutch daycare, you're like, oh, why the fuck am I doing that? See, then that is like a part of maybe you don't need to change the entire political system, but actually just focusing on childcare, like making that free, like as a society, in encouraging people to have more and more kids would benefit the whole society at large. I guess the problem being you wouldn't really get any returns on that until like you're in retirement, and then there's a nice base to actually fund your retirement, I guess. I think that's going to happen more and more.
If you think about like the main reason states are worried about this issue is purely due to like pension costs, like welfare costs, because you have an aging population who eventually retire and then can't work, and then if they're not working, they're not paying taxes, and then they also become a burden on the healthcare system. Well, so like
a whole model is based on growth.
Yeah, like you would think like just like now how they build like unnecessarily large highways because there's I think you might have said this to me at one point, there's like some clear economic return figure you can do. Like you can just run the numbers very clearly and come out with an objective number that says for each $1 we put into this highway we get like $2 back or something.
I did say that. It's really cool.
You think surely they could do that with kids, like
absolutely,
for each kid that's added to the population pool you get like X return.
Absolutely, you could totally work that out. I mean, they must be thinking this way, saying that, like, for every kid that's produced, that adds another, $1 million in GDP over however many years, probably more than that.
Yeah,
like, it's only a good thing as long as the country can support it. It's only a good thing to have more and more people contributing to society, helping people out. Except for
bludgers.
Damn bludgers, totally made up. I guess it's a
That's
carrying
what they'll
capacity.
They'll be like, everyone have more kids, but we're cutting all the welfare.
Yeah, you look after them. Well, see, then that's the change in the political system that has to be, like, maybe there'll be a whole turning point against it, especially now that the countries are focusing on it. Maybe the propaganda that we're fed will be changed up a little bit, saying about how great more people are, and rather than talking about all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do the last ball, because we've still got to integrate LIDAR into this somehow, and I have no fucking idea how to put LIDAR with childcare. Last ball is dun dun dun. CRISPR.
CRISPR kids.
CRISPR kids with LIDAR. We can use CRISPR so kids have got LIDAR built in. It's a new sense. Oh man. Well, so let's just go to the obvious point with that designer babies at this point. Like, say if you are a state and you want more and more kids coming in, so you don't have the proverbial bludgers or anything like that, you could, design the perfect citizen, the one that can actually maximize the biggest return for them. Get the most GDP out of your population with this easy CRISPR hack.
You can design sexy babies.
If the nation wanted to, yeah. Make sure you only have a good-looking population. They'd probably end up earning a lot more later on, hey? Oh, man.
Gosh, that'd be amazing with like I've been into Twitch and stuff a lot lately, like say Twitch, TikTok, and like it's very obvious that like really good looking women can very easily make a ton of money online at the moment if they're willing to kind of like sell themselves a little bit online, like their looks. So imagine if you had an entire population that's just like 10 out of 10 looks like, stereotypically, and they could just all make money just like getting attention, essentially selling their attention.
There have been studies on that like good looking people do have it easier, and they do well, like say even in things like say science or business and stuff. Like people do want to look at beautiful things and beautiful people. So you do actually have it better.
So much struggle.
Oh, you're kidding? I've had it really easy. So there's all of the dystopian stuff that's spoken about with, genetic engineering. But why wouldn't you do that? Like if it was super easy that I could make, pick some of the things for my kids, like why would you pick them not to be beautiful? Why would you pick them not to be smart or clever?
Yeah. What would you pick now? Like you're about to have a kid and the second one. So what would you, if you could abort it now and start again, what would you do?
Just knock it off. Realize like, oh no, this new product came out. When I will try it again.
It's like wrong color eyes.
Yeah.
Like almost 9 months in. No.
Yeah. No. Just not right. Well, see, I mean, intelligence would have to be one of the biggest things, but you have to wonder, like, with CRISPR, we're getting pretty far out there. I don't think that's really applicable at this point, but maybe it is.
I remember the best one of the old school singularity summits. I remember the best argument someone made for why CRISPR babies will inevitably become a thing is like intelligence. If like looks and stuff, like okay, if you can pick your baby's eye color and looks and stuff like that, like
it's like
some people choose to do that, some won't. There's not really or maybe there's a bit of an advantage to them, but definitely when it comes to intelligence, like if you can very like accurately like increase your child's intelligence by some small measurable amounts, like let's say 5%, 10% above the base, at some point it's going to be like considered quite literally child abuse not to do that.
Hells yeah.
And that sounds horrible to say, but like you can play out the experiment in your head, like okay, 5%, 10%, 20%, 30% intelligence improvement. At some point your child is going to be, if you don't do that CRISPR or gene editing to your child, then they're going to end up dumber than the rest of the population. And it's almost like, and it's terrible to sound, it's almost like giving birth, like consciously giving birth to a disabled kid, even though you could have made them not disabled, because they'll come into a world where like they're literally dumber than everyone else, and that would be considered child abuse, and the government will have to step in and like say, no, everyone has to add this modification to their children.
Holy crap, it's so true. Like imagine being the kid that didn't have it, and all of your peers, everyone around you are just smarter, and knowing that your parents could have done this, but no, you had some really ideological parents who are like, no, you must be pure. Like, damn it.
I mean, hopefully at some point we get like adult gene therapy that can do these things, but I don't know. I think just based on human bio stuff, I think it's more likely that stuff will happen in the fetus, in the embryo, than during an adult stage.
I know it's a little bit of a distressing thought, really, thinking that like we might actually start to see these generations of kids being created that are like, much smarter and like, much better looking, like, better humans. And then we can't get them. We're like, God damn it, we're one of the last few generations to not have this. This is such bullshit. Why?
How would you even control them then? Like any of your like any of the standard like parent discipline techniques or tricks, like just you would think if they're intelligent enough they would see straight through it.
Well, you'd hope that it'd only be like the 20% smarter than you to start with, so still a little bit. And this is just the beginning. Like this is just like within our lifetime type of stuff. But like eventually, once you can start picking exactly what you want the kid to be like is there a limit to intelligence? And do you even need the rest of your body at one point? If like combine that with BCI, like you're just whacking them directly into a computer, letting them do what they want in there, and then you could optimize for that biological outcome. Like, what do you actually need when you're just permanently hooked up to the computer, permanently hooked up to a hive mind, a collection of everyone thinking at once?
What would be trippy is if let's like drag this out, like extrapolate out like tens of thousands of years. Let's say people start modifying really small in the beginning, like really small little modifications to their children, like for lack of better ideas, for some reason I was just thinking like giraffe. Like let's say some parents for some reason decide that they want their child's neck to be a little bit taller, like maybe a centimeter taller neck, and then and everyone in the beginning is like, oh, that's fine. Like, okay, they got slight, like barely noticeable like neck size, but then like that becomes like a little tribal niche, like a little like
a status symbol.
Like something like that, like a status symbol, like something like I'm different because I got this thing, and then like the subsequent generations double down on it, and so you just get longer and longer necks, so you end up with like giraffe neck humans. And then you have like combine that with every other weird variation, so you just have these like bizarre like
new species of humans. Really,
it's like weird endomorph gone wrong.
Well, it could end up happening that way until like they're so different that they can't actually breed together. Then you literally do have different species of humans. Yeah. Or in little pockets of humanity doing their own thing.
What have we done?
Why did we do this? So combining it with the political system,
you could raise more intelligent politicians. That's a good start.
Yeah, that could work really well.
Maybe that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Do you think you could see a political system, like a government, like dictating that they have to be kind of genetically modified in this way? So say like you had your little pockets of people. I mean, you still kind of get that now. Like I'm just going to throw something out there, like say like the Mormons, right? That they can be, let's say they just got really, really into CRISPR and genetic engineering for their kids. And they say, cool, if you want to be a part of our community and all of that, we really optimize for these traits. And then everyone always has to do that. And then, if that does really, really well, they could end up being, in control and saying exactly how everyone does it. And if you do, like, force everyone in your nation, in your state, to be 20% more intelligent, over time, that's going to give that state way more power by actually forcing everyone to be more intelligent compared to, oh, look, you just do what you want. And then they'll end up winning, right?
Dude, that just triggered a memory of a tweet I saw. Someone I follow, it's a guy behind Do Not Pay, that app that's like helps you automate lawyer stuff, like legal disputes in the US. Anyway, he does like seed investments. And I saw he recently either promoted or he said he was a seed investor in a US startup where literally what they're doing is they're trying to create CRISPR engineered babies that are more intelligent, like just better all around. But they're doing this entirely. The entire point is they want to create really good, smart, intelligent, better American citizens to fight against the Chinese in the future. Not to fight, but like to beat the Chinese who are currently like dominating the world in science, maths, all the things. Yeah. So like it's happening now, and like VCs are funding this shit now.
Wow. Okay. So that's actually a thing, and so that's a stated goal. Like I feel like that would have been like a hidden goal or something. Like this is our hidden reason for doing it, not like this is it.
It was like right there in the tweet. Like this is our goal, and like the VCs are like, you should invest in this. Like I invested in it. I'm like, what the fuck? What is going on?
My goodness. Okay. Well, that's a thing.
Wasn't subtle at all.
There was one I saw as well. I need to look this up, but it was they was focusing on pets first. So it was all of this healthcare using like genetic engineering, but really focusing just on animals. And so it was saying like, this could be the way to get into that because there's a lot less ethical restrictions on doing that to help save animals with radical biological treatments.
Yeah, there's some of the biohackers I follow, like David Ishii, who does stuff with like Josiah Zayner and a few other like random cool biohackers. His whole thing is he wants to he's focusing on one certain breed of dog, and he's basically trying to like remove all the genetic defects.
Nice,
because apparently I think I read this at one point from him. Dogs are the most fucked up genetically, like species genetically, because humans have just like bred them into like fuckery to like get nice little weird features out of them.
Yeah,
and so now they suffer from fuckloads of genetic disorders, and he's trying to like breed them out through CRISPR.
Shocking. Yeah, I always get really sad thinking about the dogs like that. Can't actually breathe. Pugs, yeah. Oh.
Poor pugs.
Shocking. Oh man. So is that, are we just going to miss out on it then? Like, because I haven't gone deep into CRISPR, but we could do it for healthcare, for like helping us out, but it's like we can't rewrite ourselves at the language at this point.
Gene therapy, maybe. But yeah, I think it's less likely than embryo-based stuff.
Well, the important question is, can we attach LIDAR to ourselves?
What about we can combine them this way? Like we could do biological based echolocation.
Hey, that's cool.
It's kind of like LIDAR, but like biologically embedded.
I like. Well, why not? Why stop there? Like all of the different sensors you could add to yourself. Like you could just radically improve your eyes so you can see everything that's happening around. Like radically improve your ears so you could like do echolocation, do everything. Like every sense could be totally upgraded. I wonder if you could just wire that into your brain. I wonder if like you could just make an eye that can see better, and if your brain would just be like, cool, I can just. There's just more information. Or do you think it's like part of the eyes also in the brain that Yeah, you have to change one to change the other.
Like, oh, everything's so clear.
Yeah. This isn't
Why?
right.
Too many colors. There's that guy. There's a few like weird biohack stuff. Like there's that one where you like obviously the one where you implant a magnet.
Yeah. Magnetic
finger, and then you can sense magnetic fields and electrical fields. There's another one where I think it's like a belt or something that like buzzes whenever you face north, and so you end up like getting an innate sense of where north is.
I thought that'd be great. Yeah, it's like a compass inside you. You could always know.
Yeah,
because birds have that apparently. Some do, I think.
And there's that famous guy where he has like a little antenna over his head. Yeah, you've seen it, but I don't know what it does exactly. I think it turns color into sound or something in his head. I don't know. It's distinctive. It's like a little like an anglerfish thing.
That's cool.
But that's just what's available now. You can, yeah, crazy.
Well, even my brain's just going crazy thinking about this. Like adding in like increasing your sense of smell. Like all other animals have way better sense of smell, but being able to identify humans based on their smell, like that'd be something. Holy crap! The world would probably be very stinky, but it's just another bit of information that's just coming towards you. There's no real reason why you couldn't. Like, I don't know. Our noses used to be better, didn't they? Kind of faded away or something. I don't know. I thought that was a thing I read once.
Yeah. He's how I can tie it back to political systems. If we massively improve our senses, then it should massively improve our, or maybe our social coordination capabilities.
Yeah,
maybe. You just say like if you can smell each other. Yeah.
It may want people to actually be more aware of their natural environment, turn people to more of like a solar punk type future where you're like, hey, we want to have nice things around because we can see it, like where our senses are so much more heightened that we want to smell nice things, we want to see nice things, we want to hear nice things. We're not hearing and seeing the destruction of everything. Now that is a very utopian thought, but maybe.
Can you have a voting system based on smell?
Oh, that would totally be a thing. Like, you know how people who are good looking tend to get more votes. That if you smell good, if you're one of the best smelling people around, you're like, yes, I like that guy. He's on my level. We could just make it so see, that's another thing that you could do. You could actually change your body to smell the way that you want. And so you could kind of work out what smell people like. Because, like, you know, apparently like similar to your parents is a thing, or I think that's to do with attraction and stuff. But say it's you actually said, hey, I want myself to smell like this, and I'm going to go out there and try and influence people. You go to, like, say, a meeting with someone. You look them up online. You see what smells they actually like. You change yourself to smell just what they think they should like. That would be cool. You put pheromones in.
I think smell has far more impact in human life than people realize. I have a conspiracy theory. Every time I've gotten dumped, it's because I changed my deodorant. Like, there's correlation there. I didn't track it carefully, but like I'm pretty sure there's correlation there. So like, I think ever since I had that theory, I've just never changed my deodorant since then. I get the same brand, the same type every time now.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I agree. I think smell's very underrated. I just bought some perfume. It's not called perfume for dudes. I don't know what it's called. Whatever the guy perfume's called. Cologne. That's it, cologne. So stupid. So gendered.
Colon.
Yeah.
Colon on you.
Like, yeah, let's see that. Well, so if Courtney ends up breaking up with me, it's because I've got new cologne. So there we go. Validated. Cool. Oh, well.
All the other topics. LIDAR, childcare, political
systems, and CRISPR. I think that's it.
I think we covered it all.
Well, that's the end of season 1. We did it.
Stay tuned for the Christmas special.
Yeah, we went through a whole bingo ball machine worth of ideas.
And no prizes.
No prizes. Yeah, what the hell?
What is this game? Worst bingo ball game ever.
Yeah. Maybe we would need prizes for season 2. Good.
And like some old ladies in the background yelling out, bingo!
Yeah. I'm on board for this. Now this sounds good. Uh-oh. No, it's all good. It just said it's got limited space remaining, so I think it's all pretty good. I thought it just stopped.
We're running out of bits.
Yep.
Okay, bye.
Okay. See ya.